turning back.
Welcome to the Lost Boy Scouts
This
podcast.
is the last one of the year.
Last one of the year. Crazy, huh?
Last one of the year, and I'm not even talking in the microphone. We're professionals here.
We are professionals.
Professionals here.
Crazy, huh?
I can't even believe it.
What episode? So we're on at
I think
least
it's 44.
God.
We should have been around 50, but this year, man, we got to recap the year a little bit because the year did not go as planned.
It did not go as planned.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what our letters say and what we accomplished, what we didn't accomplish, where we are in our lives. It's when you look back at your life, I think one of those things, like I think we've talked about this before. I'm not a New Year's resolution person.
Right.
Are you?
I don't like the term resolutions, right? Because resolutions seem so absolute.
Yeah.
I do like having goals, right? And I think I like to keep my goals flexible.
Sure.
But I'll be honest, I'm like the master of making a goal and then like being like so hard on myself if I don't
do it.
If I don't achieve it or if I don't get close, or like I'll think too big and I won't be able to and so I get really hard on myself. In fact, it's been a pretty hard couple of weeks since the last eepisode.
You've had some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
And mine has been like whirlwind.
Yeah.
Just thinking about what did we talk about last podcast, and then you're like, gosh, was it that long ago that we sat down here talking about what we had going on, and it was going to be things that we were looking forward to, right?
Yeah.
And I can't even think like what was the last podcast about, and I think like, okay, is that I'm not living in the moment? Is it that I'm not taking the time to appreciate what I have right now in this moment? And I think for men, sometimes the future, you put like all these like bells and whistles on the future.
Yeah.
Like this is going to happen for me.
Yeah.
I know it's going to happen for me. And then what I think is if it doesn't happen, then you're like you said, you're super hard on yourself.
Yeah. I think, at least I'm that way. I absolutely 100%. If I don't hit where I think I should be, or if I get super bummed. I get super bummed about it. I think more or less what I've noticed, even this last week, is just the cyclical style of my life is not as fulfilling to me as I would want it to be. Right? Like I've got a great job. I love doing this, but there's some things about the repetitive nature where I'm like, okay, I see that I'm stuck in this pattern. And I know I don't want to be in this pattern. I know that I'm like in some stepping stones here. So like, what do I do? What decisions do I need to make to kind of break the cycle a little bit?
Yeah.
And that for me, it just kind of super bummed me out. I just had to kind of sit in some pain and of some things and just kind of realize that like, man, if I could teach one lesson to my son, if I could help inoculate him towards anything, it would be that of rejection.
Yeah.
Like become so resilient against rejection that it does not matter to you. And I think you will become a very powerful person.
I believe so too. Yeah. Yeah. I think like hearing the word no.
Yeah.
Or not accomplishing the task at hand right then. And having that idea of this may be a failure. This is a rejection. This is a moment of like, I'm not winning.
Yeah.
I'm not winning right now.
Right.
And can you be okay with that?
Right.
Can you sit in silence in that moment and be like, yeah, I'm not winning right now.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not winning right now.
Yeah.
But maybe you are.
Yeah.
Maybe the elasticity of your well-being or the elasticity of who you are as a man is growing.
Right.
And you're getting pressure.
Yeah.
You're getting cooked on the bottom.
Yep.
You can't find a frame. You can't find an out. You know the clock is ticking, and all you want to do is get to a position of breathable.
Yeah.
Can I breathe?
Yeah.
Can I find a defendable spot?
Yep.
To where I can breathe for just a second, and I can think, and I can get past this moment.
Yeah.
Because we're not in this fight alone.
No.
And you think you are.
Yeah.
You think I'm the only person going through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, nobody else around me is going through this.
Right. Well, your problems are unique to you, but you're right. You absolutely, if you over personalize it, right, you can it really just becomes your problem.
Yeah.
And as men, like one of the things that we notice is that we don't let other people help us shoulder that burden, or we don't see the parallels in each other's stories.
Agreed.
That kind of help us build together.
Yeah. And more importantly, like we've always talked about, we are not given the tools on how to ask for help and or see like what you're going through.
Right.
And say, yeah, me too.
Right.
Most of the time we're like fixers. We're like, oh, Tyler tells me his problem. Okay, Danny goes into fixing mode. Cool, here I come.
Yep.
Instead of being like, yeah, man, me too, Tyler. I'm feeling bad because I don't want to get into this where we're both telling each other how bad we feel, and then both of us going like, well, toughen the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I feel like a lot of times I'll bring things up, or I'll talk things out with my dad, or I'll call somebody, and it's like, am I having a bitch session here?
Yeah, dude.
And I think it's good to like get that stuff out because it helps you potentially reframe it. But at the same time, I also sometimes I just want you to listen to me. I don't necessarily want your fucking
you don't need to feedback or tell me your parallel.
yeah. Well, not necessarily your parallel. Like I probably would love the parallel because then we can like commiserate together.
Or the one-upmanships, maybe.
Yeah. Or it's the fixing. Like I don't need you to fix it. Like if I could have somebody just tell me what steps I need to take every step of the way, that'd be great. But like at some point, I just need to I need to figure it out on my own. I've got to just speak through it. I've got to talk through it. And
unless I'm short a couple $1,000s and you put that in my bank account, then I'm happy as fuck.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. And so, the last couple of weeks have been kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
You've had some things going on, and personally, like my life has been crazy with wrestling. Trying to settle in, trying to become, trying to find the balance of work, life, happiness.
Yeah.
And sometimes it means like not being available to a lot of things besides wrestling and Misty.
Yeah.
And my personal life. Because I work a full-time job.
You gotta take care, like that is the measure of a man, right? When you can start taking care of your own shit. Yeah. Like that is the progression into manhood, right? Yep. You have to be able to take care of your own shit
and putting priority on things, right? Order of operations on like what's important right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The year started off with us fully engaged, having lots of successes in our business venture.
Yep.
We were having like a lot of meetings. We were having a lot of things going on. December, I remember like going right about this time was when we went to our first business meeting with Mark and JR. Yeah. We sat down with them at the brewery right about this time, because then we went to close to that. We went to a duel at Park City, you and
That's
I.
Right.
Then we went to training.
That's right.
Which is about a year ago.
Yeah.
Because I think it was about the first home duel of Park City. And we went
I remember
did that business meeting. We were fully invested in that in our business venture.
Yeah.
And we were deep in it, you know, trying to find sponsorships, trying to find fundraising, trying to figure this out, trying to figure out how you and I could
building the business plan, talking to banks, and
man, we were fully invested. That first quarter of the year, we were like 100% invested, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking back about that and thinking like, what a learning experience we went through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We had so many meetings.
Yeah.
So many FaceTime meetings, so many, we were talking to SOAR, is that right?
Yeah, it's the score mentors.
Mentors.
Yeah.
And remember she was like she had the green screen.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember thinking like, I can see like her background every once in a while.
Yeah.
I remember that and thinking like, God, it feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it does.
You know, that was December, January.
I know.
Right up until, life changed.
Yeah.
Right up until life changed. What do you remember about December and January?
Man, I mean, January is obviously just flooded with Nick, right? Like losing Nick at the end of January. It's hard to believe that it's almost been a year.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that it's almost been a year.
Yeah. It changed our entire path.
It literally, it did. It did.
How fast life can change in a year.
Yeah.
I think really did. That.
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible not to think about. Definitely. Yeah, definitely one of those things. And it's not like it's like, hey, I'm pissed at Nick because what happened. Like you just have to adapt. You just have to adapt. Yeah. And as you know, as lonely and as sad as it is, you know, I've built really great relationships with my nephews. I'd like to think that I have a pretty good relationship with my sister-in-law. My kids have built better relationships with their cousins. I've reconnected with family that I had kind of lost touch with due to other reasons. And so like there's trade-offs, there's benefits. And I know that like as badly as I want Vessi to take off, like it's still there. It's not a lost cause. It may not have gotten the traction that I wanted to in the year. But we accomplished some pretty incredible things with the project. And what I learned is I just need to open my mouth about it more. I need to, you need to evangelize those things that you want to do. And it's about I think it's about telling the right story so that you're not like giving away your idea, but that you're actually able to kind of champion your idea in a way that draws people into your vision so that they'll ultimately cut you a check.
I remember, the fact that we had talked to so many people about our business venture,
right,
and what our ideas were, without NDAs,
right?
And I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I didn't know what an NDA was, and I know there were people that took our idea and moved on with it.
Yeah,
they were able to move on with it. They took our idea and they moved on with it, and they said, I know that this is. I know this was your idea. I appreciate it. But I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you ballsy motherfucker.
Yeah. You see Nomad Sauna on Instagram today announced that they're doing a floating sauna on one of the reservoirs.
I did see that.
I was like, dude, it's a great idea.
Jordan L.
It's a great idea. A great idea. Admittedly, it's a great idea.
It is a great idea. And you know what? For me, like, I'm always the kind of guy that's like,
I hope they do well. I hope they do well.
Good for you, because like what it also taught us in December, January, and February was it solidified our friendship, but it also solidified the fact that you and I are family.
Yeah.
So nothing gets in the way of anything.
Yeah.
That I'll drop anything and everything for you.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Anything and everything. At that moment, anything and everything. Drop everything.
Yeah.
Drop everything, rally, regroup. And you got my full undivided attention, vice versa. Whenever I need you, full undivided attention.
Yep.
No questions asked.
No questions, yeah.
No, nothing. No. And I don't know if I have, very many male relationships where that is the reality of it.
Yeah.
That it's like, cool, I'm good.
We're just going to do this.
We're doing this. We're in this moment. I remember going to your house with beers.
Oh yeah.
With the idea that, okay, tonight we're going to get drunk.
Yeah. We're
going to meditate on alcohol if we had to.
Yeah.
And getting there and being like, yep, not tonight. And hiding all the alcohol.
Yeah.
Hiding it all and being like, no, not tonight.
We medicated prematurely. Yeah, I think.
It was, think about it. It was insane.
It's just a wild rush of emotions, right? Like, I'm sure there are those that can relate. I think you're absolutely right. You need a minute where, like, it's so intense, you just need to dull it for a second. So you can get through it. It's when you get to a point where you're dulling it too much. You have to eventually feel through it. You have to.
We were going to do a year of sober.
Yeah. I'm planning on starting again.
Good.
I'm planning on starting again this year.
We were going to do a year of sober. I remember that was our first quarter was where we were going to do a year of sober.
Yeah.
And then once that all started to fade off, you start to see spring happening.
Yep.
We were training we were training a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
We were making a lot of open mats and I went to Florida and you didn't.
Yep.
And that was like, dang, we were all like, man, Tyler should be here.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because it sucks to have a trip that's paid for that you just have to leave. Like, hindsight, I probably should have just wrapped Florida into the bereavement leave that I already took.
Sure.
Because I don't think at the end of the year.
You had just started that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started the job in January. I started the job the week before.
Gosh.
It's
funny to look back on a year.
It is. It's almost funny how much you forget.
It is
in that year too. It's like, it's easy to forget. And like I said, my goal for this year was strength, ambition, and persistence. Yeah. I think at the end of the year, I can put a check mark by that. I still think it's one of those things that I'd love for it to be more of a motto for me: strength, ambition, and persistence.
Spring. What did we do in the spring?
Man, what did we do in the spring? We were out in the woods. We got out in the van.
Spring was one of those things where spring is one of those times of year here.
Yeah.
Where thaw is happening.
Yeah.
You're breaking out of your slumber.
Yeah.
We didn't have a crazy winter, if I remember right.
It wasn't terrible.
There wasn't, I remember thinking, I still think in the spring we were still a lot of focus on our business, a lot of focus on how we can revamp it, because coming out of the slumber and coming out of the whole thing with Nick required a lot of like refreshing, regrouping, reinvigorating, like trying to put some fire into what we were doing.
And I had my move as well. That was the other big thing for me that
did.
I had to move out because of the flood.
When I walked over there, remember you showed the videos of your drywall cut up almost 3 feet above the wall.
They're now listing that house. It's for sale.
It is for sale.
If anyone's got an extra 800K that they want to throw down. It was a beautiful house, beautiful old home. But that was a huge change for me and my crew.
That was one of the first times I thought that I might be interested in coaching wrestling again.
Yeah.
Because I went to Vegas, we watched the US Open. Okay. And I thought, man, maybe getting back into it would be a good thing for me. Maybe being involved with Tristan and them would be a good idea for me. And I went back and forth, because I love jiu-jitsu so much and I love being there so much.
Well, there's a lot of crossover, and I would hope that as you find some stability, you'll be able to find your passion in both and how to bring both and how to blend the two worlds. I mean, who was one of your buddies that is down at teaches a wrestling class down at
Jared
at Unified?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see total use for that, like some little bit more stand up, a little bit more like hand fighting, how to do that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you, it opens up my eyes with things. Today I was doing like practicing some things with people, and I was like thinking about blending of how this would work in both environments, and it definitely helps me in my journey, being like looking at it from a growing period, right?
Yeah.
Which is really hard in the winter here, because it's like I don't know the last time I sat in the sun. Right now.
I know. That's the worst part about this particular part of the country. Colorado, growing up in Colorado, we'd get the snow. We'd have the sunny days.
Yeah.
I feel like I get mired. I get mired in the gray.
Yeah.
And that is the worst. So you stack the gray upon the fact that I work from home primarily. If I don't leave for training, I don't leave the house.
I know.
And
you don't go outside?
No.
It's so weird.
No.
you know, when in the spring, going back to that, the spring, you start to sit outside a little bit more, and you start to like let the vitamin D hit you a little bit more, and like you start to see changing in the colors of things. You know?
New life. The buds. That's my like. I know spring is coming when you kind of see the trees, a little spurt of growth.
Yeah.
A little green that pops into the trees, and you know it's just around the corner.
Yeah, it's so close. The heat is right around the corner.
Yeah.
I don't really remember too much about the spring. I don't remember like anything standing out to me of anything that stands out to me that I thought, oh, that was a big life moment besides the move for you.
Yeah.
And then summer starts to come around.
Yep.
We had summer camp to look forward to.
Oh yeah, summer camp was epic.
Summer camp to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And the summer fights, right? We had the super fights,
yeah.
right? We had that to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Once May hits for me, that's like, you're like, okay, here we go. Here comes summer. And I started to work on my bus a lot.
Yeah.
I started to rip things out because I knew that we were leaving in July.
Yeah.
So I was trying to blend summer camp and leaving on our road trip. And I was working my ass off. Yeah. I don't feel like I've settled since.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That's true. Cause you took off the Sunday after camp.
Sunday after camp. And once camp hit, like, man, that was insane. Because if you remember, training leading up to summer camp got super intense.
Yeah.
Anthony, Hallett, Jax, all those dudes, Trip, all those guys, all those people that were fighting got really, really intense. Yeah. And you and I especially were traveling a lot, being training partners. You were doing a lot of stand up with Anthony.
Yeah, God, the man still scares me. Well, I don't think he ever will not. I love it. I love that he's patient with me. Super grateful that he's patient with me. And I've actually gotten to a point where I do feel safe. I mean, I know it could not be safe real quick, but like for the most part, it's safe, right? Yeah. And he gets him a workout. So
new members of the academy. That's about the time that Grant, Marcus,
because they were both at summer camp. They probably started in the spring.
We did the beach.
Oh yeah, the paddleboarding.
The paddleboard party.
Yeah, that was my nephew's first time camping.
That's right.
First time camping for them.
Yeah. We pulled the bus right down on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I had a gas leak going to the beach that day.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what in the world? We got there and that was like one of those times where those new members of the academy started to become family members of the academy. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Professor's band playing out there.
Professor's band playing.
They just continue to get better.
When did we go to Tribal Seeds?
Would that have been May? Was that early fall or was that in the spring? When was that?
I think it because we met Jeremy. That was when you met Jeremy.
It was before the Jeremy episode. Yeah.
It was before the Jeremy episode.
I think it was before his episode where he came up. Yeah.
We went to Park City, went to Tribal Seeds.
Yeah.
In Park City.
Yep.
You start to remember, like, all these memories start to flood in, and you think, like you just said, when was that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When was that? There was snow. There might have been snow.
I still remember it was a bit chilly. I want to say it was still a bit chilly up in Park City.
I bet it was April or May.
It had to have been.
Because then we started to take the bus out to the river.
Yep.
And hang out by the river with with Jeremy.
Yep. We did, 3 episodes?
3 episodes.
4 episodes, maybe?
Yep.
By the bus?
Montana. I went to Montana.
You did the Montana trip?
It was amazing. I cut my foot.
Stabbed your foot?
Right, with a knife. Whack! Let's see, you went to Nick's wake?
Yep. Lots of trips back and forth to Colorado. I think I did 4 trips to Colorado last year.
Mm-hmm.
I might have time. I may do one more.
Really?
Since I don't have the kids for Christmas, there is maybe an opportunity where I spontaneously show up and surprise the nephews.
Nice.
So,
and your mom?
My mom and I are talking about how to surprise them. So
Nice.
it wouldn't be too big of a surprise for
sick.
her. But she's like, "Could I fly you out?" And I'm like, "Okay." I'm working a ton at the rink. Just I got to keep busy in order to not go insane.
Yeah, these memories start to flood in, and like, when did it happen?
Yeah.
Right. And then let's see. Then you go in. Then you start fall.
Yep.
Right. When was your first trip down to St. George for company?
Oh, that would have been in January.
That would have been in January.
That would have been in January. Yeah. That was the week before Nick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was the week before Nick. Then I had Nick. Then I had the flood. Then I moved. And so it was like
insane.
Q1 was pretty intense. And so I think for me, quarter 2, quarter 3, we're all about, okay, how do I regain some homeostasis here? How do I, retool what it is I want to accomplish? What do I want to do? I had my daughter living with me all summer.
That's right.
Bren was home.
I forgot about that.
Driving down to Orem for work.
That's right.
And so I felt like a full-time father. So and not that I'll ever complain about that, but I did put a little bit more effort into being like, the father, and not really, didn't really date, didn't really travel on myself. That'll probably start shifting, I think. This year I've got to change some things in that realm. Let them be an experience. And yeah.
Did so I got, me and Trip both got promoted.
You got promoted to purple belt. That was
I got promoted to brown, and Trip got promoted to purple.
That's right. And that was in the spring.
That was in March. Or I think that's about March time frame.
Yeah, because we usually do them in the spring, and then the fall.
It was right leading up to the super fights.
There was.
I've heard some crazy things about some people in the jiu-jitsu. We've lost some members of our academy that you think, man, did that happen? Are those people not a part of our academy anymore? And I always think like it's like a death in the family almost sometimes. Like if you're not, you like, man, where did that person go?
Right.
When who's the redhead blue belt that quit in Park City? The tall kid. What's his name?
Parker.
Yeah. He's gone.
Yeah. He
got his blue belt and he's gone.
Yeah.
Those kind of things, when you think about, like, when you go through the Rolodex of academy members, it's like, where did that person go?
Right.
And it does feel like a little bit of, man, why did they go? What happened? What changed in their life that they didn't need us?
Yeah. They decided they didn't need this anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I don't know. I've never been not motivated not to quit.
Right. Jaxa got his black belt. Super fight.
Yep. That was pretty incredible. Preston getting his black belt.
Preston got his black belt. Nick got a stripe. Chris Parker, he made a promotion, right? He made the jump from blue to purple. Yeah. There's a lot of color down in Lehigh. They need to figure out how to keep their people.
Yeah, they do.
Suckers.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah. Don't lose each other.
Yeah.
I was talking to Corey yesterday, and he did not make it a full year of sobriety.
He didn't.
He did not.
He made it a damn long time.
He made it to November. But my experience after my year of sobriety, my life with alcohol completely changed. Completely changed.
Yeah.
There are moments where I've looked back and I was like, man, did I get that drunk?
Yeah.
Us at the bar.
Yeah.
A couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
I did we drink that much?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but
right.
But we went to the bar with Stevie J.
Yeah.
We met all those people. We were talking, and next thing I know, I was like, man, am I that man, I am lit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
My relationship with alcohol has changed, though, since my year of sobriety. He said that it was once the first taste of alcohol, he was like, yep, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
I love it.
There will be some moments where it'll be really hard not to indulge. There is nothing greater than in the summertime after a train, a cold Pacifico.
A cold Pacifico.
There's nothing greater.
Yeah.
I will never, there was a couple nights where I was so smashed during Nick's thing.
Oh yeah.
There was a poker game, a poker charity event.
Yeah.
It's one of the only times I've ever vomited for during a session of we were drinking. It was just pouring. It was like get Tyler drunk, and I puked so hard that I'm like, I will never be like, yeah, that was a good idea. It definitely made me want to change my relationship with alcohol.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't feel the need to ever be that drunk. Even being drunk the other weekend was like that crept up on us. I don't even know how. It
did. Yeah. I remember thinking like, oh, I'm good. And then I'm like, no, I'm not that good.
I'm not that good.
Yeah. But we were with each other. So we were probably like mellow in the fact that like not wild, not tequila rage.
No. And we had drivers and we had,
we did,
you know what I mean? Like it just kind of crept up on me. I think it was just I don't know if I didn't eat that well or.
Yeah, we probably didn't.
Whatever. Cause we didn't drink anything harder than beer.
Did we podcast that night and then go drinking?
Yeah, we did.
I think we did, right?
Yeah, we did. It was the last episode.
That's right.
It was the last episode.
Gosh.
So we had two during the podcast, maybe two after, and then it is. It's like it crept up on you. It just creeps up on you, and
we, partying is fun.
You gotta
letting loose is fun.
You gotta celebrate. Like I said, you gotta numb. You gotta it is a relationship.
Yeah.
I think you gotta be aware. You gotta have a tremendous amount of self-awareness.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
I think my desire to be sober at the beginning of the year is not because I have an inappropriate relationship with alcohol. It's because I have specific fitness goals that I have yet to achieve. And I know that taking soda, taking sugar out of my diet is what I need to do to achieve those fitness goals. And I just have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to be disciplined enough to do it this year.
Yeah.
And I've been telling myself that for years, but at the same time, I'm not going to get mad at myself for doing it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this last quarter has been wild for me because I started coaching wrestling.
You did wrestling.
But I was able to see Zach Bryan in concert.
That's right. Well, we got to go back before even you talk about Zach Bryan. You at the beginning of the year, you had the whole Hawaii thing.
Oh yeah,
you had the whole Hawaii thing.
That. Yeah, that's right. I put in for the job in Hawaii.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah, and it's still open.
It's still open,
and it still shows me in the queue potentially hired there.
You might just wake up one day and Danny's off to Hawaii.
Well, I'll tell you this: my days of air traffic are numbered.
Yeah,
I'm less than 12 months away from retirement.
Right.
From air traffic if I want, I could be done in less than 12 months. So I don't know if that's in my life anymore. I don't believe that I believe that God has a path for you.
Right.
And I believe that God puts what he wants in front of you, that he wants you to, the tasks at hand.
Yeah.
And I believe that God will give you really, really hard tasks and things that are tasks, but do you take them?
Yeah.
Right. That Hawaii thing, after talking to people and realizing that probably not for me, is how it went. Yeah. It wasn't for me.
Right.
So that's insane to me to think that was on the table.
Yeah.
When I go back and listen to the episodes, I'll have moments where I'll remember, oh yeah, I was really excited about that.
Yeah.
And then we also were going to sell our house and move into a trailer.
Yeah.
We had that going on.
Mm-hmm.
We almost put our house up for sale again. And then Misty was like, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't think I can do it. So I paused it. We paused it for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started coaching wrestling, and being around those kids has been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been so fulfilling for me.
It definitely makes you younger.
Yes.
Makes you younger.
And it's awesome.
And
those kids are awesome.
And you finally got to see Zach Bryan.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's life-changing.
It really is. When did you go, Friday or Saturday night?
We went Saturday night.
Okay.
So we knew a little bit about what was going to happen.
Right.
We got there, and I was so mad at Misty for the seats that we had because we were so high. I coached wrestling for most of the day on Saturday.
Okay.
And then Tripp and I left, and we hauled ass to Heber. Got there, and all day long, happy Zach Bryan Day, happy Zach Bryan Day to Misty, happy Zach Bryan Day. We got home. She was a little sick because she had just got home from Disneyland. She got home from Disneyland Thursday. She had Friday to just relax. Saturday, Zach Bryan Day. And we were like, happy Zach Bryan Day from 6 o'clock in the morning till we were going. And then I started to have a couple beers, get my mind right. We were listening to Zach Bryan all day. And then we drove down, found parking, and me, Tripp, Cole, Misty, we were just excited.
Yeah,
get to our seats, and it's like, oh my God, we are in the nosebleeds.
There's a buzz. The Delta Center's pretty good.
Whew.
It's easy to get in and out of.
In and out. It was packed with people.
Yeah.
But our seats were so high. I was so mad at Misty because we had such better seats.
Yeah.
In the queue. But opening band comes on, and he can't understand a single thing. And we're like,
oh no.
And people texted us and said, hey, just get past the opening band.
Okay.
Opening band. Really, really good band. You could tell they were really good. But they only played to one side of the stadium on the other side of what we were on. So we could only watch them on the big screen. Mm. They were playing to the other side.
Their stage setup just wasn't prepared.
And so then the next band comes on, and he's really good. Really good. And I've heard some of his songs, and he's playing to us. They're not moving around. And I'm like, how is this going to even go on? How is this going to work?
Yeah.
And then they said, just wait. Because when he comes on, he'll play for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
No questions asked. And then you hear that. And dude, the crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
And we sang for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Every song hung on to every word.
Yep.
Every little thing that he did, everything was what you thought it would be. Yeah. That dude is amazing.
Yep. Real troubadour.
Wow. And sang his heart out. And
pulled some kid up on stage.
That was on Friday.
Was that on Friday?
That was on Friday.
Okay.
Santa came out for us.
Oh, okay.
He played every song that I wanted to hear, except for a couple. He played so many songs that we sang, but you look on it and you're like, is this a once in a lifetime experience?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he a generational act?
Yeah. Yeah. Does he have staying power?
The dude likes to get down. He likes to party.
Yep.
Is this a generational act? Where it's like, man, I don't know if I'll see that again. I've seen some really cool concerts. I've been around a lot of really fun events.
Yeah.
But that was insane.
Such a great show. I know. I had 4 or 5 people that went to the concert that sent me clips. So he played 68 Fastback, which is absolutely my favorite song.
He did on Saturday for us.
Yeah.
Gosh.
They sent me clips and videos of that song, and it was just
it was fun. It was life-changing for us because I love his music so much.
Yeah.
And I've missed 2 really good shows. Like I said, I had tickets to Red Rock. I had tickets to San Diego. And seeing him at the Delta Center, I was a little like, God damn. I would have liked to see him some other places. Yeah. I hope he goes on some smaller tours, like go back to Red Rocks.
It's hard once you've done that to go back, right? Like he sold out everywhere he went, right?
Yeah.
He sold out Mile High. You know who else sold out Mile High? Taylor Swift, right?
Swift.
Like, so he's kind of in that genre. Like, does it stay? Does it stay? Right? Like does his next album hit? Does he take some time off, given all the heat that he's got, and just produce some studio albums?
No, because I don't care what they say. That dude is the man.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think I think they were barking just because they make money for barking, right?
Yeah,
like
they talking for no reason.
Yeah,
and she's fighting with her best friend anyways now,
right?
So
like,
she's the problem.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
You're
Nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah.
I think the best thing he's done for himself is keep his mouth shut, right? Just do his thing, make his music. It will be. Do the albums continue to come out? Do they continue to have the same?
Firepower.
The same firepower, the same. But people love him because they relate with his lyrics on every album.
On every album.
I
agree.
And he pulled in some great people in this last album. You know, John Mayer, Bruce Springsteen. Like, will he continue to do that? And I think he will. I think he has.
As you do a year recap, things pop in your head.
Yeah.
Guess what I just remembered?
What did you just remember?
CJI.
Oh, yeah.
CGI.
Yeah. Craig Jones. He's looking for some place to hang out for Christmas.
He can hang out in Heber.
Yeah.
Park City Jiu-Jitsu.
He's got a lot of people offering him places to stay.
But that changed jiu-jitsu.
I think it changed jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
I was talking to Professor Karan and we were talking the other day and how hard it is now for young up and comers, a guy like Tripp, to find a path in jiu-jitsu. Because do you become the heel?
Right.
Do you become a personality?
Right.
Can you let your jiu-jitsu speak for itself?
Right.
And in this moment, you may not be able to. You may have to become a personality, and Tripp will stand on his business, right? He's a good train. He's tough.
Yeah.
But he's not going to go out there and become this crazy personality that jiu-jitsu is kind of promoting at this point.
I don't think jiu-jitsu has a chance in hell until there's a governing body that regulates what goes into your body drug-wise. I mean, because you have, what's his name?
Pat Down. Oh, no. Gordon Ryan.
Well, you have Gordon, but then you have the other guy, Mikey Mutsumeshi. Yeah, Mutsumeshi. He's bagging on the people that take steroids. Right? You have Craig, who kind of is in the middle of it. He's kind of created his own thing. You got, Gordon, who's, is he the heel or is he the...
You and I can't relate to any of them.
No.
We're doing jiu-jitsu for a whole other reason.
You got Rotolo out there, destroying fools as well, right? There's so many names, so many different personalities. It needs a governing body that, takes it seriously. And I think that's what Craig is trying to do, getting them paid, right? Getting paid is one thing. Once you get people paid, it becomes easier to say, okay, how do we even the playing field, right? When it's a legitimate sport and there's money to be made, people will invest their time and effort to do it. And
to get onto Craig's eyesight, you have to have a personality.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard for people.
Yeah.
You have to have storyline. It becomes the American Idol of jiu-jitsu or the ultimate fighter of jiu-jitsu, and so jiu-jitsu changes, life changes. How, as a man, do you keep up? How do you keep pressing forward? How does Tyler, knowing the year that you had, be this person that's smiling, laughing, stoked on life still?
It's the persistence, right? It is the persistence, right? There are going to be days, you have to understand there's going to be days where you're on the bottom, you're getting smashed. Right?
It's your job today.
And you have to realize that, better days are on the
round
horizon.
will end.
Yeah. They're on the horizon. And it can't just be the same. And there's all these quips, there's all this, comparison is the thief of joy. There's all of these different things you can tell yourself, but It really just comes down to being resilient.
I agree. That's such a good word.
Being resilient and being persistent.
Are you resilient?
Yeah.
Can you withstand the storms? Can you be the buffalo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you be the buffalo?
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Can you run at the storm?
Can you run at the storm until you're through the storm?
The better
And the
weather's on the other side.
And the better food and the better times. Yeah. Yeah. And it may not always feel like it's possible. It may feel like the world is not stacked in your favor. You may have gone through a terrible divorce, and you may see the system at work, taking your children, taking your money, and it may seem unfair. You may go through a horrible illness or job loss, or don't get caught in that moment. Don't get caught in it.
Yeah, don't stay there.
Don't stay there.
It's not going to, you can weather it.
You're right.
You can get past it. And you can look back like we just did and have fun memories.
Yeah.
And have sad memories.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be like, oh, that was life-changing.
Right.
Because we had life-changing moments.
Yes, we did.
Good and bad last year.
Yes, we did.
Right? And it's fun. It's fun. Life is fun.
Yeah.
Don't ever think that it's the end. Like you have to be like, this is it, man. This is my life and I'm stuck here and nobody else is going through it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go through it anymore. And take that next step of removing yourself from this situation.
Yeah.
We always say that we don't want to lose another man.
Right.
I don't want to lose another man.
Yeah.
I'm tired of losing men to the battle, to the fight.
Yep.
To the fight of life. And those men had their own reasons, their own demons that they struggled with. But when we look back on it, we want to be like, this was an amazing run. I had an amazing run.
Yeah.
I did everything that I could to have an amazing run.
Right.
And so a year in review and a year looking back on things, positive or negative, how do you feel about your life right now?
Positive. It just comes back to programming that portion of your brain. What about you? Positive or negative?
Trajecting up.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to win every day anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to win every day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to win moments.
Yeah.
To win over people.
Yeah.
To win over positions.
Yeah. Right.
I
think one of the most freeing things for me will be when there's certain people that I keep trying to prove stuff to. And I know it's a process for me to let go of that needing to prove it to them. When I can truly be like, no, flatlined. When I can truly be like, whatever you're projecting on me doesn't affect me. Like that will be when I know that I'm truly in a healed position, right? Like that I'm in a healed position. I don't need to be right. I don't need to be right. I don't need to be validated because I'm already validating myself because I'm getting better this much every day.
1% every day.
1%. Maybe it's even 0.5%.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just dragging your ass out of bed.
Trajecting up.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. My life is great.
Right.
Even the battles, even the things that suck build me to be a better man.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that too. Like, we did make amends with my family. My Misty and my family made amends. She went with my family to Disneyland. And that in itself tells you that like life will get better. It's going to get worse.
Right.
We're at an age where we're going to lose our grandparents. We're going to lose our parents. We're going to lose friends and family members. We're going to lose things. And you're crazy to think that you're not.
Right. Right.
Right. But when you can always see the spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter, those 4 seasons, you can always see that things will change.
Right.
Things are going to change. Something's going to get better. Something may get worse. But for all of our listeners, for all of our friends, remember that this world is better with you in it.
Absolutely.
It's better. And we are better. We're better men by the fact that we're never going to give up on each other.
Yep.
We're never going to give up on our dreams. We're never going to give up on seeing to fruition what we have in laid out for each other.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have a battle buddy, if you have a friend like that, right?
Yeah.
If you find somebody and you find that resilience in each other, then you're going to be fine.
It's going to be, yeah. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to be fake.
Yeah.
You can't make real friends with fake people anyway.
Agreed.
So yeah, find your battle buddy, find the person that you can talk to. You know, I had a coaching session. I haven't had one in a minute. It's not a part of my business that I've really focused on. I had a coaching session last week, and I was just like, dude, this brought me so much joy to just connect with this young man and like just catch up on where we had been and what he'd been doing. And like, it was just like, there was so much clarity that was gained in just meeting with each other. And you don't have to pay a coach. I mean, yes, if you can't find anyone, maybe go find and hire a coach,
Sure.
but like, just find somebody. Find a therapist. Find anybody. There's somebody willing to listen.
Yeah.
Right?
I had a friend ask me today if I've always been, this insightful or this person,
Mm-hmm.
and I told her, I was like, nope.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
No. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
What we've created, this platform, this idea that we have to allow men to open up and talk to each other and just like,
Yeah.
who cares what you say? You don't have to be tough every day. Are we tough? Yes. Do we stand on business? Yes. If we have to fight, will we? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. For sure. But you don't have to be that person every day. You can let your guard down. And not every man has been told that.
Right.
If we can reach 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
if we can reach our sons
Mm-hmm.
and tell them, let your guard down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to sit in this trauma. You don't have to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
You can talk about what you're going through safely.
Right.
I may tease the shit out of you,
Right.
but it's a safe moment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Like I'm here to teach you the lessons that the world will teach you much harsher. In a kind way. Right. And if I can teach you to be resilient, like if you get nothing more than to just be resilient, to just learn to stare rejection in the face and say, good, you are going to be a powerful young man.
Yep.
And I've done my job.
Yep. And we'll get past any moment. We'll always be able to look back on a year
Mm-hmm.
and find happiness, sadness, mediocre, and like nothing even changed.
Yep.
But did we traject up? Did we get better? Did we improve our lives?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Did we make our relationships that we wanted to stronger?
Yeah.
Yes. Did we get rid of those relationships that don't mean shit to us anymore?
Yeah.
Did we get rid of those relationships? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we clean the house every once in a while and be like, yep, not today.
Yeah.
Did we still get smashed?
Every once in a while.
You still get tapped?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wake up and smile again. Right.
Right.
What you get? So you may go to Denver, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at going to Denver. What do I have? Christmas. The kids will be here New Year's. So I'll be back in town for that. I don't know. I'm gonna work Saturday. I don't have any other days. Like, I don't know what I'll end up doing. I got a full tank of gas and I might just point the car somewhere and
Train a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
Get some training in. What
about you?
Yeah. We have a couple of wrestling meets coming up.
Yeah.
A couple family things going on. We will spend Christmas with just Misty, myself, and Trip. Braxton's not going to be able to make it home for Christmas, but he'll be home first part of next year.
Because he's wrapping up soon, right?
Dude, this guy is so close.
Yeah.
I talked to him the other day, and he's so close. But he's so close that, you're like, you can hear in his voice that he's just like, man, I'm close. Man, I'm close.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna enjoy. I've got a crazy first quarter.
Yeah.
Wrestling, and then February is insane for me.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I did book a trip to Mexico, so we are going back to Mexico. 8 days. And we're excited. We're gonna go back there. We're gonna that'll be like our decompressed time, and then
Nice.
It'll be fun. So I believe that what we have moving forward is going to grow exponentially next year.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that we're going to hit a mark with people, and the fact that we're around them exponentially next year.
Nice.
And that's what I look forward to.
I mean, it's a possibility. Hang on to the possibility of
don't let it go.
Don't. And do what you can to fan the flame, right?
Yeah.
Because it is going to be a great year. Well, Danny, great episode. Cheers. I gotta crack my other one down here.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Here is to more times and more good times, and remembering who we have.
Yeah.
Who we've lost.
Yep.
And what we have in front of us.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate all of everybody that's listened to us.
Yeah.
Everybody that takes time for us. Everybody that gives Tyler and I space. I appreciate it. This to Nick. We appreciate you. We love you. We miss you. And all of our friends and family that we may not see, we appreciate you all.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy New Year. And thanks for another great season.
Love you.
Rise up, don't turn it back.